I don't agree with many things he does. I tell him straight. He's got friendship with certain people I can't stand.
Talking about the far right, he's aiding the enemies of Islam in an indirect manner, and that's a major sin.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. I came across an unexpected podcast collaboration featuring Mohammed Hijab and Tam Khan. It was interesting to hear them give a somewhat balanced take on Andrew Tate, another Muslim they both know, and that the general Muslim population have lost trust in due to him aligning with the anti-Muslim far right quite recently. The brothers spoke about how the Muslim community has been quite harsh on Andrew, whilst acknowledging that he has made some major blunders that they both don't agree with, and they also confirmed he is a practicing Muslim. I have to admit I have put Andrew Tate on blast over the last year or so for the madness he's put out online, but unlike others, I've refrained from saying he's not Muslim, as it's a major sin to say so without clear-cut confirmation. After watching the segment, I did see it from a somewhat different perspective, but to be honest, I still have my reservations, which I will share later. Let's watch the first clip.
I was going to ask about your relationship with Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
We've seen a picture of you and him in the masjid together. There have been different approaches towards Andrew Tate in the Muslim community. Some people have been very, very harsh to him. Some people have been very concessionary towards him. So what's your relationship like with him, and what's your assessment of what's going on in terms of people's reaction towards him in the Muslim community?
I've actually known him 20-something years. He comes to visit Dubai, we stay in touch a lot on socials, and people know the history, and then he came to Islam. And we were sitting in this cigar room with Steven Seagal, Andrew and a few others. I said to Andrew at that point, I'd like to take you to a masjid to pray one day. Away from camera, social, like away from this fake world, to prostrate, put your head down on the ground, and thank someone like, it humbles you as a man. It's the kind of action. He goes, gee, I want to revert anyway. Forget that, I want to revert. So he was like that then.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I can dismiss it. Come to time. He reminded me, went to masjid. What happened. And honestly, like, he's always, in the last few years, had a love for Islam purely because of Islam is clear cut, that's it. We don't budge. Andrew came on the scene and he started speaking about Islam, obviously in his way, how you can't disrespect the Prophet Muhammad, he's one of the Muslims want to take it, how they don't cut. Remember, it went viral. Everyone was like, who's this guy? Every Muslim in the world was sharing it. They were all his fans then. He's not a Malcolmist, he's nothing like that. But in a way, he was used by God in some way. He moved the needle in such a mad way for the non-Muslims to notice what Islam was in that. I remember that time when he'd speak out, people going, what is this Islam? When he reverted, how many kids came to me? People like Shamsi called me, guys, no, who's Andrew Tate? These guys are coming to me saying, well, about Islam because he's speaking about it. Whatever his goal in life was, or Allah's using him for, in that time it was very positive.
That's a fact,
that's a fact. Whether you want to agree or not, he moved the needle. Suddenly he goes to jail. There's no Muslims around him. It is what it is. We come to now. I'm born Muslim. I'm from a Pashtun family. My mum taught me everything from an early age, but I made mistakes. I'm from that upbringing, which I know right and wrong. We're both born. We're around Eid. We know this. You're talking about a guy who's come from a degenerate way of life, multi-millionaire, super famous.
So do you think his conversion was sincere? Because a lot of people...
No, I do believe, because I'm not here to defend anyone.
You're the closest guy to him.
I take him the masjid, I speak with him. He knows, I know how he is.
Because a lot of people say he was strategically doing it and stuff.
But now what's he doing? He could easily say I'm not Muslim now because people think he's gone against it. I'm surprised, like the way that people are pushing me away now. Look, let's not get wrong. We all say, I've said dumb things in my past, I've made bad comments, and I'm, like I said, born Muslim, around the community. I've been well educated in Islam enough to know what's good and what's right, and I still made major mistakes as a human being. This guy is coming from a totally different game. He's not around people all the time. He's been on this crazy path. Still, when no one's looking, he goes to masjid. When I talk to him, he goes, he understands. He's never gone against the message of Islam. He's never disrespected the Quran, the Prophet's peace be upon him. He's never said anything which takes you out of the realm of Islam.
There are a few things that he said.
Culturally,
there are a few things that he said that, I spoke to him privately about, and he clarified. Like, for example, some people have brought up this thing that he says that we worship Jesus, let's go and worship Jesus, something like that. A few things like that. On the record, I did speak to him, and he said, I said this in this way, and I meant this, and that's why I think a lot of people that have come and excommunicated him, I've always said, no, actually, I've spoken to him privately, and he's clarified this.
Reminded me, the one he said, Lord, he said, I'm a Lord, call me the Lord.
Yeah, some things like that.
And I spoke to him then. When I was younger, they used to be like MCs and rumbays, call me the Don, call me the Lord. It was a slang word. So when a lot of these non-Muslims say that, they don't think it's the Don, Lord, I'm the man, king. I know the term he was saying that because, bro, I didn't mean it like that. Even sometimes he's refuted him by tweets.
From what Tam Khan said, Tate wanted to be Muslim for a while and his reversion was genuine. And I acknowledge that when he first became Muslim, it did inspire other people to do the same. But I would argue that recently he's probably had the opposite effect. Tam Khan did make a good point when he said that Andrew Tate is not a Malcolm X figure. He's simply a social media influencer that accepted Islam, and that Muslims should not have put him on a pedestal, which I agree with. Tam made another good point that as born Muslims, we are far from perfect. We make mistakes and we sin. And that a lot of born Muslims come to the deen as grown adults like Tam himself. And I'm also an example example of that too. So of course a revert, especially one who has led a sinful life as Andrew Tate's, could find it difficult to adjust. And I don't say this to disrespect either of these brothers, but it did sound like they were somewhat making excuses for Andrew Tate at times. For a lot of Muslims, myself included, it would be easier for us to give Andrew Tate the benefit of the doubt if he would at least make a statement to express regret for the damage his social media posts favouring the far right have done to the Muslim community, especially here in the UK and Europe. However, after hearing Tam Khan say that despite the pushback Tate has received from the Islamic community, he still maintains he's Muslim, which shows he is genuine in his faith. Mohammed Hijab and Tam Khan did also say that Andrew Tate did clarify certain sinful statements privately, but again, to do so publicly would be a much more endearing gesture to Muslims as a whole. Let's watch the next clip.
Yeah, I don't agree with many things he does. I tell him straight.
So what don't you agree with him? Like,
I mean, like he's got friendship with certain people I can't stand.
Talking about the far right.
Yeah, the far right, their views. But is that taking him out of Islam? He's not said anything which will take him out of the realms of Islam, firstly. I know he rallied up a lot of hate and...
What's her name? The woman, the white woman that's very racist as well.
Katie Hopkins.
Yeah, so he had a thing with her as well.
But he was defending Islam on that. He was clear cut that he's a Muslim. You know?
Yeah, okay, so this is the point where I think there's a real tension, because to be fair, I agree that it's not taking anyone out of Islam. He's actually at that fine line of right now where he's aiding the enemies of Islam in a sense, he's indirectly. I would say this is where the Muslims have to be careful. Yes, he's aiding the enemies of Islam in an indirect manner, and that's a major sin. It's wrong. I believe it's not justifiable Islamically. But it's not the kind of sin that, as you mentioned, would excommunicate him outside.
I honestly believe he's just trying to get content out there for every demographic to make more money. I don't believe he's aiding. I honestly believe, unfortunately, he does it for content. When you're alone with him, the mask's off. I think a lot of it is playing to camera.
A lot of people say that he kind of switched stances. Like 1 year he was saying we need Sharia for the UK, the next year he was kind of like a little bit...
yeah.
Like
could that be the constraints of him going through such cases? He's all over the place and he's thinking, I just need to get out of it. It could be that, yeah, let's put our hands on him. If he's made mistakes, he's made mistakes. We have to accept. He's still new, not really educated on this matter. Then we're like, you're this, that. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm this. I'm trying to...
So you're going to make him into the enemy of Islam?
Then they're right when they kiss my ass. Okay, you know what? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's not an excuse. He's not a scholar. He's not a dawi. He's not a sheikh. He's not none of it. He's just a very famous influencer, promoted Islam on podcast, went viral, and he goes, it's for me, I want to become Muslim. That was it. They saw him pray in masjid and he says he reverted. What we expecting from him? I'm telling you as a witness, I sit with him and we talk a lot. We go to the masjid and never will he say no. He always comes to me, thank you for bringing me. He says that. Why do you say thank me? He feels good. The other day we were at Jummah, last Friday.
So you took him because we saw that picture of you and him.
Yeah, and I by purpose let it post because I want people to know he doesn't post it. And kids come up to him, can I have a picture? He goes, bro, please no. I just want to be like everyone else.
Really?
Don't take a picture of me on the mosque. I don't like it because I'm like everyone else. Wallahi, he said this, yeah.
For the record, bro, I think what you're doing with him is the right thing. You're looking at the bigger picture. Actually, like, I've always said this, you're one of the closest Muslims to him, number one. Number two, there is zero benefit in pushing Andrew Tate to become an enemy of Islam.
Zero benefit.
Zero benefit. That's going to bring people out of Islam.
We don't need no one. No one needs us.
Yeah.
The point is, we have a responsibility too. I'm 44. It's taken me the majority of my life to understand even how to act, how to be a husband. As a Muslim, you're learning every day. With me, I like knowledge. I like someone people tell me, I'll message, reiterate, send me things. He's different. Some of the abuse, it's like, okay.
It's gone too far. And it doesn't serve a purpose.
I get called I get called non-Muslim.
I think that Muslim community have to really tone it down with this. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I said, there's zero benefit in this man leaving Islam and becoming an enemy of Islam. It will lead to more apostasies. It will lead to less people coming into Islam. Especially those who came into Islam through him. And there's a lot. And we know that.
I respect that these brothers called out Andrew's alliance with the far right as being a major sin. And yes, it doesn't take him out of the fold of Islam. But Tam Khan saying that Tate doing so for the purposes of creating shock value content online is not okay. Both these guys should advise him that as Muslims we cannot contradict our religion for monetary gain or popularity reasons. I get it if it was done out of ignorance to begin with, but to do so over and over again, knowing the impact his statements are having on fellow Muslims is where the line needs to be drawn. Tam said when Andrew is not online, the mask is off, and he is much more Islamic in his conduct. I personally think if you put out Islamic content, it would be very popular, as well as having a positive impact on others. If Andrew Tate was a regular Joe posting on his social media, no one would care. But when everyday Muslims have to deal with the negative consequences of his inflammatory posts, then we can understand why there's an uproar. I would never want to be the reason why anyone leaves Islam, but I feel it's more important to defend our faith than worry about people leaving, because like Tam said, Islam does not need any of us. However, I get the point the brothers were making in regards to us as Muslims needing to go easy on each other online. But on the flip side of that, as Muslims, we should also aim to never misrepresent Islam, and if we do make a mistake, we should be quick to publicly make amends.
He's between here and Romania. A lot of the followers are in the UK, are in the US, are in European countries, in different places of the world. And he hasn't been in those places for a very long time. So what he needs to understand is that he could be out of touch with what's going on the ground, isn't it? Because like when you're always online, if you're not hanging around with Muslims, he doesn't realize that when he talks about Tommy Robinson on the ground, this is actually making a lot of people very upset. Now we've already put the theological discussion aside of is he a Muslim or not. We're not taking him out of Islam, and we're telling people they should not do that. Yeah, it's more now of a PR discussion. It's more of a sociological discussion. Tate needs to understand the Muslim community, just like I had to understand, just like you have to understand. Well, like there's a symbiotic relationship between us and them. Yeah, there's two approaches. Either we're going to take zero feedback and we're going to move forward, and then we're going to get hurt. Or we take some feedback, say, do you know what? I understand where you guys are coming from as the Muslim community. I'm going to make these amendments, and so that I can stay within the group, the Muslim family that is the Muslim community. But I disagree with you guys on this, that, and that point. So long as it's not going against the fundamental theology, and that's the main thing about having a fundamental theology, then I'm allowed to have my opinion, and I'm not here to appease everything you have to say. But I reckon that he still needs to find that balance, and he needs to find people that are around him that are in touch with what's happening on the ground. Because if he's in Romania in a house, or in Dubai, it's like, that's not really what's going on in the world.
I agree. One thing about Andrew Tate, his closest friend, and who's always from, you'll never see him, is a Pakistani guy from Luton Muslim. He looks after a guy from his own community, a Pakistani guy, takes him everywhere, looks after him, very close to him, and he's always around him. So this hatred, and he's Pakistani Muslim from Luton. Unfortunately, a lot of it's clickbait to get that reaction. It's the world of socials. I'm around him. People know my character. I will not associate someone goes against Islam, disrespects it public. They know me. Unfortunately, I agree, certain stance is done, the right would get excited. But there is no right. They're about as threatening as my daughters to me.
It's true, like
they are nothing. So it's like this journalist, UK Muslim journalists, people who were friends of mine before, we had good relationships, and we've fallen out over this because we're both wrong and we're both right in certain ways. But I honestly believe the bigger picture is defend your Muslims as much as you can and keep it in-house. Keep it in-house. Why do we want to publicly go, whether it's you, me? There's got bigger enemies out there, and we look like, if our house is in check, people laugh at us. These others stick together.
Honestly, I hope that Andrew Tate does leave the far right, because I think that connection is.
I honestly don't believe he's with them. I honestly believe,
like, even though I listen to them,
he's not with them. I'm telling you, the guy, if he's far right,
no, he's not far right.
I don't know, far right.
He's like entertaining them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I think, there's no need to do that. But I also think, I can't comprehend being in a Romanian jail. It's a Romanian jail, not knowing whether one day you're going to be in jail for life, that you Brits want you this, that. He's probably thinking, I've got to be diplomatic, man. I don't know who's coming for me next. There's a 1% I can understand why sometimes he wants to try and play a game. I'm not saying acceptable, but we're not in those shoes to understand. But he is purely Muslim.
So I think you're doing exactly the right thing.
You don't need to
because he needs people around him that bring him to Islam. I've always said to lots of brothers that say, like, you have to bring out the sledgehammer against him. I say, look, brother, with all due respect, my objective with the brother is a missionary objective. I'm just trying to let him understand what Islam is. There's no benefit in me trying to make him into an enemy of Islam.
Mohammed Hijab made a valid point when he said Andrew Tate is living a life out of touch from the realities of what's going on for people on a day-to-day basis due to his lifestyle. And I like the point he made about the importance of the sense of community amongst Muslims, where we genuinely feel love and loyalty towards one another in most cases. Maybe this is alien to Andrew because he's a revert, and this isn't just exclusive to him, it's applicable to every new person that accepts Islam. So it could be said it's up to us as an ummah to make reverts feel more protected, welcomed and catered to, so that they feel the same unbreakable sense of community that the rest of us do. And in the case of Andrew Tate, it's up to people like Tam Khan and Mohammed Hijab to play that role, so he realises the responsibility he has as a public figure to his fellow Muslims to keep our safety and well-being in mind before posting on social media. I also agree with Tam when he said that as Muslims we should defend each other publicly and solve grievances behind the scenes in order to not feed the hate so many antagonists harbour against us. I'm not going to lie, I'm not 100% convinced about Andrew Tate, but after watching this I'll refrain from criticism unless there's a major issue. But again, I reiterate, it works both ways. If Andrew Tate wants to regain the trust of the Muslim community, he should come out publicly and try to build some bridges also. There's no excuse for anyone selling out their faith, consciously or unconsciously, but in Islam we believe in repentance, so everybody deserves another chance if they are genuine in their intentions. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, and remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. الله أكبر الله